tweeted with different people during the game last night, and he had over 226 yards against Alabama. And then last night he topped that in the national championship game against Oregon. They could have just kept feeding him the ball. They ran that trap play with him pretty much when they wanted to and got first downs on it, Andy. So I think this was an opportunity for Oregon to take those naysayers and put them to the side and say, look, we are physical. We can compete with physical teams. Before me and you signed off Friday, I said Oregon will have a chance to get rid of that stigma attached to them that we can get here, but we can't beat physical teams. Well, guess what? The stigma's still attached to them.
Yeah, I think Oregon has gotten a little bit more physical. They've gotten tougher over the last several years, but there's just a different kind of physicality when we talk about it as far as the SEC is concerned and in Ohio State is concerned. They're more like an SEC team than certainly anybody else.
Did you get that feel watching them last night? It really reminded me of an SEC team.
There's no doubt about it. And they just absolutely wore down Oregon. Now, going back, Oregon is a rhythm offense. And the way that they're able to get around some of that not being as physical is you score so many points and you're able to dictate the pace of the game. Sure. And you're able to dictate the game by your offense. That third down, they go right down the field, just like you said, on that first drive, made it look easy. And I think they were trying to establish themselves. You saw come out with Tyner running the ball and running very physical, running over Ohio State Buckeye defenders. And that second drive, they have a 3rd and 2, have a drop pass right in the chest.
Dead
and
in
it
his
just
chest.
seemed like they never got back in sync. And of course, the next drive, they have a guy wide open 40 yards downfield, and he just drops the ball. It just seemed like they never could get back in rhythm after that. If they're able to stay in rhythm and they get up 21-7, it may be a different ball game. They're able to dictate things a little bit more and put some more pressure on Ohio State. But Ohio State turns the ball over 4 times. Mark Mariota threw the interception on the last play of the game, but that didn't really
They
count.
didn't turn the ball over.
-4 in turnover, and yet they won the game by 3 touchdowns. That's kind of stunning. Really.
Well, and in credit, just like the interception, Ohio State scored that last touchdown because, Oregon had to go for it down there deep in their own territory, and they didn't get it. So, I know on the scoreboard it looks like 42-20, but on the flip side, you can say if they don't turn the ball over 4 times, it could have been worse than 42-20 because Ohio State turned the ball over. So they gave Oregon multiple possessions. And that's the last thing you want to do against Oregon is give them the ball. So credit Ohio State's defense. I know that Ezekiel Elliott had another great running night, and I know Cardale Jones is Mr. Cool under pressure, and they couldn't have done it without him. Don't get me wrong, but I think Urban Meyer said it too in the press conference. He said no cut on the 2 guys to my right, and he was talking about Ezekiel Elliott and Cardale Jones. But he said we wouldn't have won if it hadn't been for our defense. You don't turn the ball over 4 times in a national championship game many times and come away a winner. So their defense, they manned up when they had to do it. They were put in some precarious situations, and they answered the bell. And it just seemed like, as you said earlier before we went on the air, I didn't forget, maybe some of them out there listening have, that Oregon was without a couple of their predominant playmakers at wide receiver. Now that doesn't mean that they don't have great players at wide receiver, because they do, but you lose 2 guys like that, it can change your comfort level in the way you do things. And your, I guess, from a quarterback standpoint, in which I thought Mariota still had a nice night throwing the football, it changes your mindset of, I got to throw to this guy now, and he's not quite as into the know of the offense as Carrington and some of the guys that weren't in the game last night. So
hard to complain when you're playing a team with their 3rd string quarterback.
Well, you can't use that option because the other team, like you said, is playing with their number 3 guy who doesn't look like a number 3 guy at all.
No.
And so that's what Ohio State's going to be faced with, which is a great problem to have. You going to go with Barrett? You going to go with Jones, or is Miller going to stick around for his last year? Miller got Big Ten Player of the Year twice. Barrett got Big Ten Player of the Year this year. And then so who you going to get? And Cardale Jones just comes in and wins the 3 biggest games of the year for you.
Let's not even be ridiculous. Braxton Miller's not going to be at Ohio State next year. I don't think there's any question about that.
Why wouldn't he come back, though?
Well, because you got 2 guys.
But what does that matter? You were the lead dog in this. You are 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year for Ohio State. Why would you not come back to this team. It's loaded with talent. I mean, where's he going to go that's going to give him a better shot at winning a national championship?
Florida State.
Why are that? Florida State's not better than Ohio State. They've got sophomores and juniors, and I don't think anybody for Ohio State's going to declare to go to the NFL. All of those guys are coming back.
I'm just saying, without a guarantee to be the starting quarterback next year, and you got to not only beat out one person, you got to beat out two guys. And you look at Cardale Jones, he's 6'5", 250 pounds. He just won a national title.
Now they're talking about Cardale Jones going to the NFL. Yeah. Is he going to be there next year?
He is a third-year sophomore.
Played 3 ball games in college. He's going to the NFL. That's a far stretch, but that's what's being talked about today. So,
well, he did come out and say personally that he thought, he's not ready for the NFL. So, out of his mouth, that's what was said. But I'm playing devil's advocate with you. Is what I'm doing. I'm not saying that he's not going to go because I know we've been talking about it, but how do you not consider coming back to this team if you're Braxton Miller? Why would you be scoping out? Because you're afraid of competition a little bit, because you don't want to fight to be the big dog on that team anymore. It's going to be fun to see how this all plays out. It is at that. What's your opinion out there? What's your take on the national title game? Give us a call, 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll-free locally at 334-887-3401. When Cardale Jones had his Jameis Winston moment and just threw the ball backwards and fumbled, and Oregon goes down, cuts it 21-20.
Well, they only got a field goal.
But still, it was a one-point game. At that point, I thought, here we go. Now we got a game. This is going to be a fun inning. And Ohio State, to their credit, again, like you say, their defense rose to the occasion, and they just started to manhandle.
Well, if you watch the game, and this is the true take I got, I came away completely opposite of that. I came away, Ohio State gift-wrapped you one inside the 30. You only kicked the field goal. You're still behind, and Ohio State has turned the ball over 4 times. You're still behind, and you hadn't stopped Ezekiel Elliott yet. Have you been watching this game? All they got to do is go right back to him. This defensive line's getting tireder and tireder and tireder, and I didn't feel good at all about it from an Oregon standpoint. I'm thinking, man, y'all have missed way too many opportunities. Go back and ask Auburn about the Iron Bowl. You get inside the 10-yard line, you have to settle for field goals. It almost burnt Ohio State in the semifinal game against Alabama when they're down 21-6. They were getting down inside the red zone, and they couldn't cash it in. And I'm like, look, you cannot live against a team like Alabama kicking field goals when they're scoring touchdowns. And Oregon is used to punching the ball in the end zone. That's why they went for it that one time down there, and they didn't get it because, look, they said they were going to approach the game just like they do every other game, and I think that's the right attitude to have. But Oregon could not cash it in, and it was because they were out-physicaled inside the 10-yard line. When the field is shortened, Andy, and you don't have the room to maneuver like Oregon needs in a lot of these spread offenses, you saw Auburn have problems with that this year. Mississippi State clearly comes to mind. How many times did we get inside the red zone and couldn't score? Had to settle for field goals. Same thing with Alabama. Got inside the red zone, couldn't find a way to cash it in. And I think that's a knock, and they talked about this on the show, on the game last night, a knock of some of these spread offense teams, is that you move the ball up and down the field, but when the field is shortened and you get in tight quarters down there, it's all about the team that can muscle up and win the line of scrimmage, and Oregon got whipped at the line of scrimmage. It's that simple.
You got to come up with a little bit better original play, though, than run right up the middle on 4th and 3 from the 3-yard line. I thought that was a poor play call on Oregon's part. And how big was that field goal? If Oregon takes the lead, 23 to 21, it may be a different mindset.
Maybe you always take points. I know Jason Caldwell will be on with us in a little bit, and I saw a tweet from him last night. So you always take the points. You get inside there, and you're right. How does that mentally change things for Ohio State and Oregon when they kick that field goal instead of being down a point, they're up 2? So you don't like to settle for field goals sometimes, like I said, and you got to be able to cash it in. And if you look at the difference in the game, when Ohio State got in the red zone, they scored touchdowns. When Oregon did, they got field goals. That is the game, but you have to be smart about what you do, and you got to be able to take points when you feel like that's all you can get right now.
Which team was the more physical? No doubt about it. Oregon came into the game averaging 241 yards rushing They only had 132 last night. They came in averaging
most of that was on the first drive.
50% on third down. They were 2 of 12. 0 of 2 on fourth down. On the other hand, Ohio State, 8 of 15, just on their average, 51%, almost 52% on third down, 3 for 3 on fourth down.
Well, you asked me what I thought the keys would be for Ohio State, and if you remember, I said they got to win third downs. They got to be ahead of the sticks. They've got to be better than average in third down conversions, and they were. I mean, they were right on their average, but they converted more than 50% of their third downs, and they kept drives alive, and they kept that Oregon defense. Oregon couldn't get off the field, Andy, so it just continued to – the time of possession will tell the story. I mean, 22 minutes, I believe, for Oregon versus, 37 for Ohio State? All right, so there's your difference. I mean, and it's because Oregon couldn't get off the field on third down. And Ohio State went for how many fourth downs? Three, got all 3 of them? Can't get off the field. And that's because you can't win the line of scrimmage. You're getting manhandled up front. And I know Randy and I have gone back and forth with each other, and I felt like Oregon was going to prove everybody wrong this year, and I'm first to eat my words. I eat my words. I mean, they had their opportunity to prove it to everybody that was against them, and they didn't do it. So now, guess what? I fall in that category with everybody else because I gave them the benefit of the doubt all year long and thought they'd be able to get it done. They didn't do it.
Give us a call. Let us know what you think about it. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free locally at 334-887-3401. We're up against our first break here, but don't go anywhere. More Sports Call presented by Always Money right after this.
Stop by your local TK's convenience store where Resource Natural Spring Water 700 milliliter bottles are buy one, get one free. Resource is a 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes for taste. It's good for you and mindful of the environment thanks to a bottle made with 50% recycled plastic. So visit your local TK's convenience store to refresh, revitalize, and replenish with a special buy one, get one free offer on Resource Spring Water. Excludes label and cap. Recycling facilities may not be available in your area.
As a new semester dawns, there's only one place to get your textbooks and supplies. The Big Blue Bookstore. With Auburn's biggest selection of new and used textbooks at rock-bottom prices, why shop anywhere else? Trust the awesome, friendly, and knowledgeable staff to help you find everything you need to ace this semester. Big Blue is the area's largest Auburn merchandise superstore with tons of AU apparel and souvenirs, as well as school supplies. And right now, buy 3 t-shirts, get the 4th free. The Big Blue Bookstore in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College.
If you're planning on having a good time this winter, why don't you crack open a Bud Light Lime Cran-Burrito? Because, my friends, the time has come to raise the roof and have some fun. Go crash the party. Throw away the work to be done. Play more, work less. Let the music play on. Everybody sing, everybody dance. The night is young. Lose yourself in wild romance. We're going to party, caramba, fiesta, forever. Party on with Bud Light Lime Cran-Burrito. It's the great cranberry margarita taste with a refreshing twist of Bud Light Lime that's perfect for any party this winter. Just pop, pour, and party all night long. Try it now for a limited time. Bud Light Lime Cran-Burrito. Fiesta forever.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Lime Cran-Burrito flavored malt beverage. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gotta get the Gills auto sales. We can finance, you got to get the Gills. Selection and price, got to get the Gills. Gotta get the Gills. Tax time is here, now's the time to buy. Stop the Gills auto sales, we can show you why. Gills no down payment gets you on your way. $2.99 down, get you riding today. Gotta get the Gills auto sales. We can finance, you gotta get the Gills. Selection and price, gotta get the Gills. Gotta get the Gills.
TK's convenience stores are your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have but don't have time to waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope, At TK's, we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a six-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's Convenience Stores, now with 14 locations to better serve you, always there when you need us.
There's nothing like the signature honey glazed spiral sliced ham from Honey Baked. Hey, this is Crystal. From catering corporate meetings to providing boxed lunches for your next event, Honey Baked Ham is just what you're looking for, including full meals with sides and desserts. Don't forget to stop by our deli for lunch or dinner, open 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday. You don't have to wait for the holidays. Plan your Honey Baked feast today. Give us a call at 741-8411. Stop by and see us on Gateway Drive in Opelika, or order online at myhoneybakedstore.com. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
Auburn Links is proud to honor the people who keep us safe, the men and women of the military, and the police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County. To show their thanks, Auburn Links is offering you special discounts. Just show your ID, and you'll get 18 holes of the best golf around for just $25 anytime. That's right, members of the military, along with police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County, 18 holes for just $25. Auburn Links wants to thank you for what you do with a great round of golf. Auburn Links off exit 51. Call 887-5151.
Hello and welcome back to Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy and Brett here with you for another hour and 40 minutes or so, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free or locally at 334-887-3401 on our Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. Sports Call today brought to you by Auburn Urgent Care. Auburn Urgent Care offers convenient solutions for your health care and occupational medicine needs, including workman's compensation injury care and certified DOT medical examinations. With locations on South College and in Tigertown, visit them online at auburnurgentcare.com. Brett, we were talking in the break, and I told you I was going to bring up, of course, it's been mentioned by a couple of people, and the last touchdown that was scored by Ohio State, they could have easily taken a knee. Oregon did call a timeout, but after Ohio State got the first down, Oregon did not. They chose not to call a timeout. They were saying no mas. And, there's two strategies about that. You can line up in the victory formation. You can go ahead and kneel the ball. Or you can just continue to run right up the middle, and it's their job to stop you, and that's fine. If you do a play-action pass and you score a touchdown there, that goes over the line. But just to run it up the middle, I really don't have a problem with that, with the understanding that somewhere somebody wrote that down, and it's remembered. And, I remember, Houston beat SMU, I think, 95-21 in the late 80s. And then in about the early 90s, Jerry Glanville was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And they beat the Houston Oilers pretty bad, who was coached by Jack Pardee, who was the coach of the Houston Cougars back then when they beat SMU. And he beat them pretty bad, and they ran it up. And Jerry Glanville, so that's for SMU. He had nothing to do with anything, but somebody wrote it down, and it was remembered, and it'll come back to get you.
It always does. And so you know that, and a lot of people around here don't like Urban Meyer and the way he kind of whines and the way he kind of acts about things. And I don't remember him saying one thing about Oregon last night in the post game. I may have missed it. And it's great because I know it was them against the world mentality. Nobody gave them an opportunity. Nobody gave them a shot to win. But you need to at least say, look, man, that was a pretty good team across the way. And now I may have missed something. I don't remember him really saying much at all about Oregon being a good program or whatever. But you don't have to. You don't have to. And I may have missed something. I may be speaking out of line. But Urban Meyer, when the way he left Florida, Luke called in and said that. The way he left Florida in a lurch and the speculation of his health problem, so to say. We've heard other things that went on, nefarious things that may have caused him to leave Florida or part ways. But regardless, he's just got the smirk on his face over there. That's why a lot of people enjoyed watching Florida get beat in that SEC championship game that caused him to leave Florida, when Alabama beat him. And, everybody said Nick Saban caused him to have a heart attack and he had to get out of the game. But, I guess he kind of got his revenge on Nick Saban in the Sugar Bowl. But nevertheless, you always understand as a head coach that probably the thing to do, the game was in hand. Oregon, like you said, had pretty much made the statement across the way that we're we're not going to do anything else. We're not going to call any more timeouts. Kneel on the ball and go to the house and be glad you won the national championship. And you already proved your point to everybody by winning the 3 games that you won. So you don't have to like Urban Meyer, but you got to admire Cardell Jones and some of these players for Ohio State, because when I think Auburn kind of felt the same way in 2010, and I think they definitely felt that way in 2004. They would beat a team, and, well, that's not good enough. You got to beat this team. And you go on the road and you win that game and you win this one, and nothing was ever good enough. Everybody just felt like you were always going to fall on your face, and that team never did, and this Ohio State team didn't either. So tip your hat, they're the national champs.
Absolutely. I love him or hate him. You have to appreciate what they've been able to do today, this year at Ohio State, to win the way they have with the third-string quarterback. It really is a story that I don't think I've ever heard about before, and I'm not sure we'll ever see again.
No, and I want to bring up something here in just a second, but we do get tweeted by a lot of our fans out there, and want to thank Greg Patterson for asking me a question here, and he wants to know the latest on recruiting on this big weekend coming up. Greg, we're going to talk a lot about that, so just keep us tuned in. And the number crunch, I'll let you ask Jason that, because I think last time we talked, maybe around 7 or 8 more slots possibly, if Auburn wants to go that high, depending on who they get commitments from. So that's kind of where they are with that. I believe we have 20 current commitments on this class. So, but a little bit more information coming from Jason Caldwell in the next segment. So, Greg, just hang on there. But we appreciate all of you. You can always tweet us at Sportscall AU, and we can get your question answered that way. If you don't want to call us in, but we'd love to hear from you. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 334-887-3401. With Jim Harbaugh to Michigan, and now Urban Meyer at Ohio State, and us saying that Ohio State team looked like an SEC team last night, I thought the same exact thing. Are we about to see something happen in that neck of the woods between Michigan and Ohio State? Those rivals, are we going to see that kind of rejuvenate and possibly see something that we've seen with Auburn and Alabama the last 5 years, with those teams going to national championship games? I mean, it's for one to speculate about, because Ohio State made the Big Ten relevant again last night, and then Jim Harbaugh going back to Michigan, I think, makes Michigan relevant. It'll take him a little time, but, I mean, Andy, you could be seeing a battle up north similar to what we've been witnessing here in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, I think you can. I'm a believer in Jim Harbaugh. He's been successful everywhere he's been. I think he'll get Michigan back on the right track, and I think it'll happen fairly soon. It all depends on recruiting, obviously, but it didn't take Urban long to get Ohio State looking the way they look now to be able to compete with the best in the country. So, if Lloyd Carr and Jim Tressel can have basically Michigan and Ohio State like a 1-2 type season, I think it certainly can happen nowadays. Now, is it going to be a 6-year battle? Can they get it to that where it's a year in, year out, those two teams are vying for national titles? I don't know. That still remains to be seen. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see about that. But, of course, you look at Ohio. That's the thing. We talked about that, too, Friday. When you look at this Oregon team, you look at this Ohio State team, both of them are young. Both of them have a lot of people, they're freshmen, sophomores, making big plays. So these teams are going to be around for a while. And, you look at the Ohio State's quarterback situation, and I'd say they're pretty stacked. So, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see about that. The Big Ten's not exactly – I don't think to say that the SEC is now all of a sudden, being eclipsed. I
don't think anybody's saying that. I'm just saying that I think Ohio State has proven over the last 3 years we've kind of under the radar, kind of not paid them any attention. I mean, they were a Big Ten championship game away from being in the national championship last year. So we can thank Michigan State for helping us get into that game, just like, a few years before that, Alabama had to have some help in from some other teams to get in a national championship. Sometimes it happens that way. But the year before, they went undefeated, Andy, and nobody paid any attention because they were on probation. So that's a 3-year run, about as good or better than anybody in college football. So, and Urban Meyer, whether you like him or not, has won 3 national championships now, 2 at Florida, 1 at Ohio State, and will have an opportunity to win several more because he's a young guy, and unless he has another health problem, probably will stay for a while. So you can tell he's content, very happy where he is, and it'll be interesting to see.
Up against a break here. Hopefully when we come back, we'll catch up with Jason Caldwell from inside the Auburn Tigers. Be sure to join us on the other side of this break. More Sports Call presented by Auburn Urgent Care right after this.
Lee Marketing Group is proud to announce their recent alliance with Baker Street Advertising based in Opelika, Alabama. Now more than ever, it's important to develop a marketing plan that creates a compelling message, deploys that message, and analyzes metrics to optimize performance. LMG Baker strengthens our mission to help businesses market to their potential. Contact Randy Lee Jr. 256-750-5951 or visit our website, leemarketing.net.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
At Reinhardt Prattville on 2154 Cobbs Ford Road, we have over 300 used vehicles in stock. Sedans, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, imports, and domestics. We're proud to be celebrating 10 years in Prattville. Come by and see managers Donnie Crozier or Skip Lathan and get your best deal on a used vehicle. We're open 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. ReinhardtPrattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville, where we sell to sell again.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your healthcare and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. And we're open 7 days a week to best serve you. Call us today at 334-821-3221. It's not about speed, it's about the quality of care. Auburn Urgent Care.
Are you in need of a mortgage to purchase a new home or possibly refinance your existing home to save some money? Call Hometown Lenders of Auburn. We offer a wide selection of loan programs and services that we customize to your individual mortgage needs. At Hometown Lenders of Auburn, we get your loan done quickly, efficiently, without the hassles that you experience elsewhere. 334-521-8213, HTLontheplains.com. That's Hometown Lenders of Auburn, your hometown mortgage lender. NMLS 65084.
Over the years, SNS Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. SNS Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at SNS offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, SNS offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At SNS Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply.
Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply, locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience, is very involved in giving back to our community. Our employees offer top-notch customer service with superior product knowledge. No matter the size of the job, Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply have you covered.
Experience and knowledge from the pros.
I'm assuming we got
Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply.
So you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For combined 50 years, Sign Source has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. Sign Source.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Here's to a one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is a proud sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy Graham here with you for another hour and a half, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. We'll pick up your phone calls in the next segment. Right now, we're going to welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell from inside the Auburn Tigers. Jason, how are you today?
Doing good. How about you, Ed?
I'm doing pretty well. Just give us your thoughts on the national championship game last night.
Once you take a step back and look at it, I actually wasn't that really surprised. We kind of gotten used to seeing Oregon do that, and you really look at it, and I've heard that seeing people kind of dog Marcus Mariota a little bit, but boy, I don't know how much little help he could have gotten last night. If you don't drop the 2 third down passes, that could be a 14-0 game, and he knows how it changes there. But also, you play without really your top 3 pass catchers, and I just thought it was a tough matchup for him. He didn't play great, but he didn't play terrible either. But that game was won at the line of scrimmage on both sides. I thought, Ohio State really got after it and did a good job running the football. And I said it walking out of the stadium, when Auburn lost to Wisconsin in the Outback Bowl, that a team that beat that Wisconsin team 59-0 had to be pretty strong, no matter how bad Wisconsin played, whatever you want to say. And you look at it, and that proved to be true. No question in my mind that the best team in the country right now won the national championship last night.
You think this Oregon team, I I think they have gotten a little more physical. You got a 6'8", 260-pound guy on the defensive line really causing havoc as well. But do you think it's the style of play that Oregon runs, or it's just a West Coast mentality? It's a different kind of physical than it is, say, in the SEC or even Ohio State now.
Yeah, but you look at that 6'8", even if they're 6'8", 290, that's still not a lot of bulk. That's long and lean, and that's what Oregon is made of, long and lean guys, and it's tough sometimes for those guys to be in the trenches. And the other difference is, even with all of you look at Oregon, even with they get skill guys, and they get some offensive linemen that are good players, and Eric Armstead, and they got a couple of, but the depth of bodies up front on defense, and especially the front seven, isn't there. They don't have second, third guys. You look at Ohio State substituting left and right up front. Oregon's not doing that. They don't have as much depth on the defensive line, and so I think that's a part of that as well. And in the end, I just don't think they were still physical enough. And I thought going in that one change for them was the fact that they had more physical running backs. In the end, it wound up being a detriment because those guys didn't play well at all. They didn't find their holes. They didn't read blocks. I thought the running backs, except for a couple of flashes, played very subpar, and that really hurt the Oregon offense because, as we've seen with Auburn, if you can't pace, if you can't get first downs, you can't pace. But the thing about Oregon is that they still try to pace even though they don't. And I thought it threw their defense back on the field too quickly last night. And people talk about Auburn all the time going, why do you pace so much? Well, you know what, in the end, you got to be able to deliver. Oregon didn't deliver last night, and too many 3 and out, too many missed opportunities for them. And I thought it was a dominant performance. When you win a game, when you turn it over 4 times and the other team doesn't turn it over and you still win by 2 touchdowns, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We got Jason Caldwell here from inside the Auburn Tigers joining us on Sports Call this afternoon. Well, as the college football season comes to an end, of course, recruiting season really gets cranked up. This is what it's all about for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And Auburn has an enormous weekend coming up this weekend, the 16th. Just talk about that weekend a little bit, maybe some of the people that we're going to see at Auburn.
Yeah, it is a huge weekend. You start talking about moving forward. Basically, we got 3 weekends before signing day. So this weekend is massive. One of the biggest weekends I remember in the last 8 or 10 years or so in terms of numbers and just names. Obviously, most of the Auburn commitments that aren't already on campus will be in this weekend. And, you're talking about guys like Kerryon Johnson, guys like, Darrell Williams and Richard McBride and Jordan Colbert. So a lot of those guys already committed to be in. But, you start talking about defensive linemen like C.C. Jefferson, the number 2 defensive end in the country, a 5-star prospect from Florida. Byron Coward, a 5-star, the number 3 defensive end in the country. Terry Beckner, the number 5 defensive end in the country. Those are the positions and guys that could be immediate impact guys for Auburn, could they land them. And so that makes this weekend a massive one. And so I think it starts up from the defensive line. That has to be the focus for the Tigers, heading into signing day.
Terry Beckner, correct me if I'm wrong, is he listed at 290 pounds?
Yeah, he's a guy that would probably wind up being an interior guy. He played defensive end, is listed as defensive end, but then played interior tackle in the Under Armour game. So I think, because of that, I think he's probably a guy that would wind up, being an interior guy, which probably works out well for Auburn. They probably need, a difference maker interior guy or 2, and then a true pass rusher or 2 outside. So there's still some holes left to fill there.
Well, Jason, now we've talked about this before, and of course, numbers crunching is always a topic of conversation. Now, Auburn has 20 listed commitments, but with a coaching change and so many high-profile recruits, so many 5-star recruits, all of a sudden now interested in Auburn. What's the maximum Auburn could take this year?
I think they could probably get up to 28 or so. I don't know if they'll get that high. I still think it's probably going to be 26 or so. They could get up to 28 if all things work out. If you were to get a load of these 4- and 5-star defensive linemen and these guys go, hey, we all want to play together, then I think they'd find some room there. But I think it's probably going to be somewhere around 26 or so.
Well, we'll shift gears, talk a little bit about this Auburn basketball team. A big win over Missouri over the weekend. I think it was the one that they had to take advantage of. Auburn's home schedule, is as manageable, I guess, as you can expect from an SEC schedule. And Missouri, certainly not the best team in the SEC, but it was a very good win. It seemed like Auburn got a lot of people involved on the offensive end.
Yeah, really solid win. You're right. It was one they really needed if they want to try to make a run at the postseason. You got to hold serve at home, and especially early on. You lose that game, and then you go to Florida. All of a sudden, you look up and you're 0-3, more than likely. Auburn played good at Florida last year. That's a tough place to go and play. So it was just important, just from a confidence standpoint, to know they could do it. And now, you can move forward. They got the first SEC win. Got a taste of what it feels like to win in this league. I mean, those things are very important. But, for this Auburn team now, you go on the road to Florida on a Thursday night, quick turnaround, South Carolina on Saturday, and you just try to back it up. I think you just try to keep clawing and scratching and do what you can do. But no question, this team has already made some tremendous strides, and the crowd's been there too. That's huge in basketball, to have that home court advantage, and Auburn's got one for the first time in quite a while, and I think that'll be important for them throughout the rest of this SEC schedule.
Yeah, when you look at going to a Florida's certainly not maybe the team that everybody thought they were going to be this year. They're a down team, and you look at last year with the turnover in the roster. I'm not sure that makes. I'm not sure how much confidence this team can take from last year's close calls with Florida, but it certainly, I guess, couldn't hurt.
No, it can't hurt. I think you look at it, Florida, the team that struggled early on, but they're getting back closer to full strength, and they've gone on the road at South Carolina and won, and that was when South Carolina was rolling along pretty good. So this team, they know what it's like. They've seen Florida on TV. This is still a program that has, top players and top prospects on it. So I think for this Auburn team, it's just about going out there and trying to handle what they control, which is go out, get off to a good start. Don't get down 15 or 20 in the first half, and try to stay out of foul trouble, be aggressive, rebound, all those things that they've got to do to be a good basketball team. But, as far as confidence goes, it'd be hard to have a whole lot of confidence to this team right now because they haven't played well on the road. They have one neutral court win. But the good thing is that the neutral court win they had, Oregon State team just beat Arizona. So for Auburn, you look and go, hey, some of these games we played, some of these teams we've beaten, have beaten some pretty good teams themselves. So maybe we're a little bit better than maybe people might think. So I think it's probably for them just another step in the right direction. Go in there, play well, give yourself a chance to win and see what happens.
Well, Jason, just tell us what's going on right now inside the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, lots of obviously recruiting talk. I got a defensive line preview for this weekend and kind of for the remainder of the year for Auburn. But I got that up. Lots of basketball talk, more recruiting talk throughout the week, as always, as we get ready for the first big weekend of the year.
Well, Jason, we really appreciate you joining us each and every Tuesday. You do a great job.
Thanks, Andy. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. More Sports Call on the way right after this.
Tiger fans, join Auburn women's basketball this week as they host Tennessee Thursday, January 15th at 7 p.m. at Auburn Arena. It's true blue. All fans are encouraged to wear their blue. Dr. Magic Balloon Artist and Airbrush Face Painter will be in attendance in the kids' and halftime will include the Little Tiger Slam Jam. That's Auburn women's basketball this Thursday at 7 versus Tennessee. To purchase your tickets now, call 1-855-AUB-2010 or visit aubtix.com.
It was just one of those days. I had a million things to do. This was the last thing I was expecting.
No matter how well you drive, things happen. And when they do, the ASE certified technicians at Franklin Tire and Auto know there's only one way to fix it, the right way. From accident repair to factory scheduled maintenance, Franklin Tire will give you honest, dependable service at a competitive price. Proudly serving the area since 1970 and still locally owned and operated.
No shortcuts, no compromise, and friendly service every time. Franklin Tire and Auto in Auburn, 821-4572 and FranklinAutoInc.com.
There's nothing like the signature honey glazed spiral sliced ham from Honey Baked. Hey, this is Crystal. From catering corporate meetings to providing boxed lunches for your next event, Honey Baked Ham is just what you're looking for, including full meals with sides and desserts. Don't forget to stop by our deli for lunch or dinner, open 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday. You don't have to wait for the holidays. Plan your Honey Baked feast today. Give us a call at 741-8411, stop by and see us on Gateway Drive in Opelika, or order online at myhoneybakedstore.com. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
For the new year, why not work on the new you at Tiger Iron Gym on South College?
Sign up today for $19 a month and you're in. No hidden costs or sign-up fees here. Tiger Iron Gym is always open, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll love the top-of-the-line cardio and strength training equipment, tanning options, and get this, at Tiger Iron Gym, you'll always be able to find a convenient parking spot. Tiger Iron Gym is your hometown gym, 24/7, 365 days a year. South College Street in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center.
Auburn Links is your home for great golf. Just off exit 51, Auburn Links features a beautiful layout with marina grass greens and rolling fairways, all right next to Parkinson's Mill Creek. For the last 20 years, Auburn Links has been providing Lee County with the best golfing experience around, whatever your skill level may be. Looking for a fun family activity? Auburn Links has great group rates and membership specials for everyone, and their weekday rates now include Fridays. Be sure to follow Auburn Links on Facebook and Twitter for special deals and limited time offers. Auburn Links, Sheltumer Parkway, call 887-5151.
Since 1973, Project Uplift has been an organization that actively seeks to find caring adults who are willing to befriend a child. The first of 8
I won't be here, by the way.
sessions to become
that's right. It's me and Rain. Yeah, I wouldn't say nothing. Just go with the flow, man.
Is scheduled for Tuesday, January 20th, 2015, from 4 to 8 p.m.
Well,
in Cary Hall Auditorium, number 158 on Auburn University's campus. No registration is required, so give us a call at 334-844-4430.
We send her the schedule.
Visit our website at auburn.edu/Project Uplift for more information.
In a world where time is money, only one team can conquer all your printing and marketing needs, big or small. Call the A-Team, Allegra Printing. The experts at Allegra can handle it all, from concept, copywriting, and design to printing, targeting, and mailing. They're local, knowledgeable, accurate, and quick. Don't risk your company's success on a faceless, faraway online imitator. There can be only one. Allegra Printing, your A-Team in Auburn at the University Crossing Shopping Center behind McAllister's Deli. Allegra-auburnal.com.
Welcome to the Shrimp Basket. I see you're back again.
Yeah, I just keep craving all-you-can-eat specials. At the Shrimp Basket, we're steaming, grilling, and frying up all of your favorites. All-you-can-eat fried shrimp on Sunday and Wednesday. All-you-can-eat steamed shrimp on Tuesday. And all-you-can-eat fried fish on Monday and Thursday. At the Shrimp Basket, our all-you-can-eat specials are sure to satisfy any appetite, even if you're eating for two. The Shrimp Basket, 21 locations to serve you.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Resource Natural Spring Water. Resource is 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes that support a lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Brett here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll-free locally at 334-887-3401 on the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. Everyone out there being shy today, we would love to hear from you. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind this afternoon.
Few responses on Twitter out there. But
well, you know, as Jason, we just caught up with Jason Caldwell from inside the Auburn Tigers. As he said, one of the biggest weekends I can ever remember as far as in Auburn. Commitments, confirming that C.C. Jefferson is going to be in Auburn. Byron Coward is going to be in Auburn. Terry Beckner is going to be in Auburn, as well as so many of the guys that are already committed. The guys that have been working on a lot of these guys. A guy like Caleb Kim that I think has really come to the forefront. He has played really well in these all-star games and has really been talking up Auburn, recruiting Auburn very, very well.
Yeah, I thought, before we went to Jason, I thought it was around 8, and he confirmed that. He said it could be more like 26, 27. But if some of these guys, like I said, decide that they won't all come together, all to make room, depending on who, where they are ranked and all that. Now, I mean, let's be realistic on where we are as far as you got 4 of the top defensive ends in the country. But as you and Jason talked about, Beckner Jr. probably slides down the line and plays an interior position in college at his size, unless he wants to go the other way, unless he wants to drop 25 pounds, or if he wants to gain 10 or 15 more and be a force in the middle. Sometimes those big old guys say, look, feed me, man. I'll gain a few more pounds and I'll play interior. But, a huge slate of people in town. And I think Auburn is a couple of the guys that they're really looking at. So Byron Coward out of the gate. And I think Byron Coward, there's always one guy or two guys that kind of control the whole group. And when you see interviews with C.C. Jefferson and Terry Beckner Jr. and all these guys down the list, Andy, all of them, the common denominator is Byron Coward. They go, well, I've become real good friends with Byron Coward, and Byron Coward was your MVP of the Under Armour All-American game. And Herm Edwards was just overly complimentary of him, said he could, he's one of the best players he's ever been around at this level, at this age. So you got, an Arden Key and some of those other guys like Jeffrey Holland, Martez Ivey. His decision and his word has a huge impact on a lot of these other guys. And, so he may be down there trying to figure out, not only do I want to, if I want to come to Auburn, who do I want to come to Auburn with me? So I think, not saying he is the only top priority, but he's the top right now, I believe, for this Auburn coaching staff, because he is according to Herm Edwards, a game changer right now at his size and his speed, and will have an opportunity to come in and get quality playing time at Auburn.
Yeah, a guy like Dalen Mack, he eliminates Texas. He's going to come to Auburn the final weekend before signing day. That's always
he'll be coming with Terry Beckner Jr.
Arden Key, I believe.
Arden Key coming the last weekend?
So.
Okay, all right.
And Beckner Jr. may be coming this weekend with the rest of those. But, Auburn's still, in the mix for quite a few. We've talked about this ad nauseum, about Auburn's recruiting, especially defensive linemen. When we look up, maybe all the talk is going to be and all the threat is going to be about nothing, because, Auburn may end up one of the best defensive line sign classes they've ever signed. Then again, they may not. That's why we all kind of have to be patient and wait to see what happens in February, because, a lot of things can happen between now and then.
And I stay on Twitter a good bit, and, I get a lot of notifications that come across, and saw where Nate Craig, we had him on the program last year. Andy, you remember we interviewed him, and at the time was committed to Auburn, then he decommitted, but he tweeted out, I'll be sliding to Auburn this weekend. And
he's a 2016.
It's 2016 guy. That's what I'm
number
saying.
Number one receiver, right?
Yeah, number one receiver, 5-star guy. He is Now, broke his leg this year and missed majority of the year from Dade City, Florida, but he is a top prospect. Kerryon Johnson, he tweeted him directly and said, looking forward to hanging. So there's going to be a lot of guys in town, 2016 guys, even in town with this group of big-name targets. So this is a humongous weekend in recruiting. You can't really expound on how big it is for Auburn.
Yeah, I'm sure Jason Caldwell and Brian Matthews will be strategically placed around town, seeing if they can get as much information as they can. We'll hopefully get everything we can from them as that weekend takes place this weekend. We'll try to get as much information as we possibly can and pass that on. Again, in the second hour of Sports Call today, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs. Of course, they're in full swing. A good slate this weekend. A lot of interesting games. Only one road team able to pull off the victory, that being the Colts over the Broncos.
Would you have thought?
Peyton Manning, is it over?
I looked at his face toward the end of that ball game, and it looked like a face of a guy that, said, look, man, this may have passed me by. And, I hate to say it, Peyton Manning's an all-time great and will always be that way, but won Super Bowl. And he did it with Indianapolis, and saw a tweet out there. Have you seen, I think it's which insurance company is it? Geico with the fisherman with the dollar in it. You almost had it. And it showed Peyton Manning kind of laying down, and he's got the Super Bowl trophy on the end of the rod and reel, and said, you almost had it. And, Indianapolis fans, they'll remember Peyton, but they know he's with the Broncos now. So that was a big win for Indianapolis fans and what they were able to do to go to Denver. But, his arm strength, I believe you were talking about how it's gone down, and you could see him on passes that he normally would have been precision pinpoint on way off in this game, and it was at home. So
if he's playing with a torn quadricep, I mean, certainly that's going to affect
him. Well, absolutely.
But he looked old.
But you got to expect for things to continue to break down every year. I mean, again, if that gets created, then what is it next year? It's just the harsh reality of getting older, for all of us, that things don't quite work the way they used to, and you can't quite move as well as you once did. And Peyton Manning, he's had a great career. It could have ended with that neck injury, but was able to come back and got Denver to a Super Bowl. Now, they got thrashed last year by the Seahawks, but got them there, and they felt like probably they had a shot to get back again this year, and they were. They were in the playoffs real close, but you got to win the game at home, man. I mean, you got to beat Indianapolis at home if you want to get back to the Super Bowl. It's just going to be an interesting all season for the Broncos, as John Fox is parted ways now with the Broncos. He's not even the coach now, so they're going to have to go get another coach. And this is a lot of change in the all season coming up.
The carousel continues in the NFL. Well, give us a call. Let us know what you think about it. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free locally at 334-887-3401. The Fox Sports Report is coming up next. Brett and I'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Call right after this.
S&S Tires grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
Is your paycheck slipping away in insurance premiums? Let Alpha Insurance show you how to tackle savings with rewards and discounts for loyal customers. Save even more when you bundle your home, car, and life insurance with Alpha. Plus, you get friendly service from our hometown team. In Opelika, call Alpha agent Brian Foreman at 334-749-3371 or stop by our office at 709 2nd Avenue. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 93.9. WTGZ, Union Springs, Montgomery, and Auburn, and AM 620 WTRP, LaGrange.
Fox Sports trending now. We begin with coaching news in the NFL, and Jason Garrett is going to stick around Dallas for a while. Multiple reports say that Garrett got a 5-year extension worth $30 million to remain the head coach of the Cowboys. And not only that, there's a report from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that says that Rod Marinelli will stay with the team as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. The Pittsburgh Steelers promoted linebackers coach Keith Butler to be their defensive coordinator. Former Broncos head coach John Fox, the front runner to be the head coach in Chicago. That's according to Fox Sports insider Alex Marvez. Ohio State quarterback Cardale Jones said today that he isn't ready for the NFL. Jones is eligible to enter the NFL draft this spring. He admitted it was odd to think of making the transition to the pros and said he'll have a conversation with head coach Urban Meyer about his future. Finally, the league in the NBA, that is, his suspended Nets forward Kevin Garnett for headbutting Dwight Howard. I'm Dan Byer.
We are Fox Sports.
Purchasing a home can sometimes be overwhelming. Instead, it should be an exciting time for you and your family. Hi, I'm Angela Van Houten with Century 21 Lake Area Realty. I want to help you find the home or property that perfectly fits your needs. With over 15 years of experience in real estate, I am proud to serve the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Call or text me today, 256-596-0566, or find me on the web at angelavanhouten.com and let me help you find the home you've always dreamed of.
For the new year, why not work on the new you at Tiger Iron Gym on South College? Sign up today for $19 a month and you're in. No hidden costs or sign-up fees here. Tiger Iron Gym is always open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll love the top-of-the-line cardio and strength training equipment, tanning options, and get this. At Tiger Iron Gym, you'll always be able to find a convenient parking spot. Tiger Iron Gym is your hometown gym, 24/7, 365. South College Street in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center.
We go live now to South College Street. There seems to be some sort of traffic jam.
And what a traffic jam it is. People are lined up to get a seat at Veggies To Go. There are folks flooding the area to sink their teeth into Veggies To Go's home-cooked baked chicken, collard greens, fried okra, mac and cheese, and delicious desserts. So don't delay. Head to Veggies To Go today.
People from all over are going to Veggies To Go on South College and Glen Avenue in Auburn. Or give them a call for takeout orders and all of your catering needs at 821-1660.
But according to the rule, it was the right call, but it's a bad rule.
Small business and some
that's
school
just what you got to
projects. Must be an
evaluate.
expert graphic
It's almost
designer,
like
well-versed
last
in
year
strategic
when they
marketing,
corrected the
able to
rule in
quickly and
college
accurately
football
print
on
everything from
targeting.
business cards and
You
brochures
throw the
to
penalty
flyers and
flag and
signs.
you go review it and decide it's not targeted. You keep 15 yards. What you just call?
They've got you covered. In-house
Well,
designers, state-of-the-art all-digital printing equipment, and an on-time can-do attitude. Allegra Printing.
When you come down with the ball,
University Crossing Shopping Center behind
and you clearly come down with the ball in bounds, and you make a move to dive, and you land and it hits the ground, then you've established yourself in bounds with the ball.
And the police,
Then
fire, and
that's what you do. If you're catching the ball and you have not made a step, okay, and you're falling back and the ball hits your arm hits the ground and knocks it out, then I can see that not being the case.
That's right. Members of the
I
military.
mean, it's like they said on NFL Live. The rule was designed for boundary, like back line of the end zone kind of plays and stuff like that. They've taken it. NFL just makes
There's
things
nothing like the
complicated.
signature
I mean,
honey
the rule
glazed
book's just
flour-sliced
thick.
ham
It's
from
not like
Honey
the
Baked.
NCAA.
Hey, this is
Yeah.
Crystal. From catering corporate meetings to providing boxed lunches for your next event, Honey Baked Ham is just what you're looking for, including full meals with sides and desserts. Don't forget to stop by our deli for lunch
Everybody
and
wants
dinner,
to say, well,
open 10 to
Dallas
7,
payback's
Monday
heck.
through
I mean,
Saturday. You don't have to wait for the holidays.
Dallas didn't make
Plan
a
your
call
Honey
in
Baked
Dallas.
feast
The
today.
referee
Give us
did.
a call at 741-8411.
Detroit
Stop
needs
by
to
and
get a
see us on
grip. I
Gateway
mean, they
Drive,
just-
Opelika, or order online at myhoneybakestore.com. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Reinhardt Prattville, located on Cobb's Fourth Road. 334-290-1992. Visit us online at ReinhardtPrattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville. We sell to sell again.
You better buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a show to watch.
From Tiger Communications.
Jackson, touchdown.
For 20 years, East Alabama's sports talk leader.
Swing and drive, Mountain right.
Sportscall.
Oh, what a dunk.
Call in now at 887-3401 locally.
Right through, he got it.
Or 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free.
Struck him out.
And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains. Sports Call.
Welcome back, everyone, to hour number 2 of Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy Graham and Brett Pritchard here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free or locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Talked a lot about the national championship game, of course, in the first hour. If you've got any comments or questions about that, give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind today. Of course, this hour, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL. We don't do a lot of NFL talk on this program, but this is, if you don't talk about it this time of year, you're never going to talk about it. So the NFL playoffs, of course, in full swing. The first game on Saturday, the Ravens and the Patriots, this was probably the most entertaining game of them all. It was a back-and-forth game. It just goes to show how much different it is in college than in the NFL. The Patriots can rush for 14 yards and win a game 35-31. That just, it's incredible the way that, well, you just look at a guy like Tom Brady and the way that he can run that offense. It's a thing of beauty when it's really going right.
You know, Joe Flacco in that game, he going into that game, and it was an unbelievable streak of passes without an interception. And, it was a very short down and distance right there, and I believe it was 2nd and 5. They just had a penalty and moved up to 2nd and 5. They ran the ball, and you go for broke right there with a minute and something left in the. I mean, you got them. And the worst thing you want to do is score on a bomb and give them an opportunity to drive back down because you know they're going to do it. So what was your hurry? Why were you trying to throw that pass? And take what the defense gives you, move the ball down the field, and give yourself a shot and run the clock out. I just thought he made a very poor decision at that point in time in the game, and it ended up costing the Ravens the game. But you're right. NFL, you can abandon the running game completely and win a ball game. I mean, it's just so different in structure and what you're expecting out of players, especially quarterbacks in the NFL. When you have a really good quarterback in the NFL, they can just carry you all the way through. And it's been a drought for Tom Brady. It's been a while since he was he made it to a couple, Super Bowls here lately, but lost. And then so they're itching up there in New England to get back and possibly win a Super Bowl. And I think with Indianapolis having to go to their place, I think they'll win the game. I think they're, I don't think they'll even, have a problem with Indianapolis. And I think they'll cruise on to play. I'm going to make a call on Seattle. I think Seattle right now is a tough out. You have to go through Seattle. I thought Carolina played about as good as you could play and had chances to do some things, and they just don't quite have enough horses at Carolina. And, Cam made trying to make a play through an interception, and Cam Chancellor picked it off and ran it back. But, I just think it'll be, New England moving on and playing Seattle in the Super Bowl. But, again, the 2 championship games this weekend will be fun to watch.
Well, Rob Gronkowski is a matchup nightmare. Is there anybody – I mean, I don't know what you do with him. You can't cover him with a corner because he's just too big, and you can't cover him with a linebacker because he's too fast. He is an absolute – I don't know. He's an absolute weapon, and him being healthy, it gives the Patriots an advantage. And almost every play, they can use him.
With the absence of Wes Welker and some of the guys that have come through that offense for Tom Brady, Gronkowski has seemed to be a mainstay for him. He's a comfort zone. He's almost like Tony Romo and Jason Witten. I mean, every time Tony Romo needs to move the ball and then go find Jason Witten somewhere, he's going to find a way to get open. And he's a Hall of Fame guy. Gronkowski's going to be a Hall of Fame guy, I think. unless an injury cuts his career short. Those guys are just, they don't come around every day, and they're integral cogs of your team. And you're right, you don't have an answer to match up with a guy that size that can move the way he does. He creates matchup problems all over the field. So you're looking at a situation with Tom Brady and where he is in his career, with what he's got around him. Not to say his career is coming to a close anytime soon. He's been doing it a while. And so he's you got to strike while the iron's hot. You and I were kidding before the show. You went and you kind of stopped yourself. It'll just be a matter of time. And you were like, Oregon. I said, hold on a minute. Buffalo Bills. It'll just be a matter of time before we make it back to another one and lose again. So ask Peyton Manning that. I mean, I know he's got one, but you know, you don't just go, well, we missed it this year, we'll be back next year. I mean, Auburn's an example. We felt like we'd have a real good shot. The schedule would be tough. We had a good shot of getting in the playoff. Well, at least we got 4 teams this year. We can get in the playoff. We didn't make it into the playoff this year. And, you know, so you don't count your chickens before they hatch. You seize the day. And how many more times can Tom Brady and this Patriots team navigate the NFL waters and get back to a Super Bowl?
Well, what did you think about the Patriots using the 4 offensive linemen and Harbaugh getting so upset about
Lost his mind.
I mean, you know, and of course, he says the NFL should look into it and investigate those tactics. To me, I mean, if you're not, that's what football is. I mean, you're trying to outwit your opponent. I mean, it is, yes. It's about
chess.
physicality. It's about trying to be the bigger, tougher man. But it's also about strategy. And it's like you say, it's chess. And if you're not trying to outwit your opponent, then I don't think you're doing your due diligence.
Know who's eligible and who's not. I mean,
they have to report.
That's what I'm saying. And they tell who is the eligible receiver and who's not, and that's all the officials are obligated to do. I've been to numerous NFL games, and guys check in, and the official hits a mic, and he goes, number 34 is an eligible receiver, or number 78 is an eligible receiver on this. I mean, go cover the guy. The Ravens were completely confused on the entire drive, and they threw the same pass. They just threw right down the hash mark every time, and everybody was looking at each other like, is somebody going to step over there and cover that guy? I mean, it was,
and obviously not.
And nobody decided to ever cover him, and he just ran the same play all the way down the field. So, you know, when you get frustrated, because when people get frustrated when you feel like you've been outwitted, when you feel like you've been outsmarted, it gets under your skin a little bit, and rightfully so.
Yeah, well, I think it's the argument about, you know, Nick Saban, is this what we want football to be? I mean, it's not quite the same argument, but it's the same principle.
And then he turned to running the plays like that.
Yes, and he's adopted it as well. So maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does want it to be that was football is supposed to be. So the Panthers traveled to Seattle this weekend. Cam Newton, of course, leading the Panthers there. It was a good game, Cam. I thought the Panthers were in it. I thought they played extremely well. They actually outgained Seattle. They outrushed Seattle, which I was shocked. Seattle only got 100 yards rushing, but 3 turnovers. That was kind of the killer. And when you look at the Seattle secondary, they are absolutely fierce.
Impeccable.
Chandler
back there. Cam Chancellor is one of the best in the business. And I'm going to step away from the game just a second and go into the locker room. Would people just quit interviewing Marshawn Lynch? I mean, just quit doing it.
I'm not sure anybody has interviewed him.
I mean, I don't know if he's he's trying to prove a point. He's not going to say anything. Quit asking questions.
He just wants to eat his Skittles and be left alone.
That's it. I mean, he's different. You know, he's just a different guy.
He is different.
And so, I mean, it's just, well, they said Ezekiel Elliott's different too. Ohio State's players said he's kind of a goofball off the field. Now, he's not on the field, but off the field, he's kind of always silly. I mean, just that guy that walks in is always something silly going on. So I don't know, but Marshawn Lynch is just quit interviewing him. I get tired of them making a big deal about it. I mean, I really do. So, but anyway, he's a tremendous back, and he gets it done. I know they didn't rush the ball terribly well, but I thought Carolina had one of the better defenses in the league. They got to get Cam Newton some help on the offensive side of the ball. I know they lucked out getting Kelvin Benjamin to mature into what he has matured into this year. I mean, he's a great player, and so they're really fortunate after cutting Steve Smith loose that he could become a top-notch, a top-notch number one guy. But they got to have a little bit more help offensively.
Yeah, and again, you look at Seattle. They this year they started off the season. You didn't think they were caught as good as they were last year, but they've really turned the corner here about mid-season, and they are rounding into form just in time. Their defense is very salty. They are just almost impenetrable in the secondary when you look at everything they have back there. And Cam Chancellor, the way he hit a 260-pound man in Tolbert and just knocked him backwards was pretty incredible. So, the Seahawks defeat the Panthers 31-17. When we come back, we'll run down the rest of these other two games. The Cowboys traveling to Green Bay and the Indianapolis Colts traveling out to Denver to take on the Broncos. More Sports Call is on the way, presented by Always Money, right after this.
Let me tell you about Satterfields. Check out the beautiful showroom at Satterfields on Highway 280 in Alexander City. They have a great selection of outdoor grilling lines for your entertainment needs. Name brands like Big Green Egg, Lynx, Blaze, and Sabre are just a few. Also, Loan Equipment by Shindawa, Echo, and Husqvarna. Power Tools by Makita, and a great line of Carhartt clothing. All of this in one location, Satterfields on Highway 280 in Alexander City. Stop by and visit them today. Satterfield.
Alex City Food Shop is now your local Shell station, located on the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280. Stop by and experience performance that excites with Shell V-Power gasoline. No other gasoline protects better than Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline by cleaning performance-robbing gunk from intakes and fuel injectors. And we now accept Winn-Dixie Fuel Perks and Fuel Rewards Network cards so you can save on fuel purchases. See store for details. State-of-the-art touch-free car wash, snacks, cold drinks, ice, and much more for your tailgating needs. Alex City Food Shop on the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280, where we're always open and appreciate your business.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So stop by or visit alwaysmoney.com. How much can we loan you today? Borrowers often use payday loans over a period of months, which can be expensive.
Are you in need of a mortgage to purchase a new home or possibly refinance your existing home to save some money? Call Hometown Lenders of Auburn. We offer a wide selection of loan programs and services that we customize to your individual mortgage needs. At Hometown Lenders of Auburn, we get your loan done quickly, efficiently, without the hassles that you experience elsewhere. 334-521-8213, HTLontheplains.com. That's Hometown Lenders of Auburn, your hometown mortgage lender. NMLS 65084.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our two locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
At Reinhardt Travel on 2154 Cobbs Ford Road, we have over 300 used vehicles in stock. Sedans, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, imports, and domestics. We're proud to be celebrating 10 years in Prattville. Come by and see managers Donnie Crozier or Skip Lathan and get your best deal on a used vehicle. We're open 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. ReinhardtPrattville.com. Reinhardt Prattville, where we sell to sell again.
You're useless, guy.
Is your paycheck slipping away in insurance premiums? Let Alpha Insurance show you how to tackle savings with rewards and discounts for loyal customers. Save even more when you bundle your home, car, and life insurance with Alpha. Plus, you get friendly service from our hometown team. In Opelika, call Alpha agent Brian Foreman at 334-749-3371 or stop by our office at 709 2nd Avenue in Opelika.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do It Center and Building Supply.
Russell Do It Center and Building Supply, locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience, is very involved in giving back to our community. Our employees offer top-notch customer service with superior product knowledge. No matter the size of the job, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply have you covered.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do It Center and Building Supply.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy and Brett here with you for another 40 minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Mr. Buckeye just delivered us a message, said Kevin Steele has been hired as the LSU defensive coordinator, so that's still a little news to pass along.
Mr. Buckeye?
Mr. Buckeye.
Would you please elaborate, tell everybody out there who
what
that
is it? With the Mr. the mascot for the Ohio State Buckeyes just came up to our table. Brutus, and gave us the information. Well, that was an interesting sight.
It was. What about going back to I don't know what to say now. Kevin Steele there. What's your take?
I think it's pretty. I think that's pretty. I think it's pretty.
I'm not. I think that's pretty non-exciting. How about that?
I'm not very impressed with it, to be honest with
you. Well,
you.
there you go.
He did a bang-up job at Clemson. I'm going to tell you, they gave up 70 to West Virginia. So I'm not going to take a shot at somebody else, but anyway, 1-888-9-TIGER-9 334-887-3401 to be part of the program here, and a lot of moving and shaking will be going on. Obviously for most of the part. In college, it's done. Did you get the feel there for a minute that nobody really wanted to go to LSU, be the defensive coordinator? Did you start to get a little bit of that feel? Well, when they said that Bill Clark was a candidate, I thought, well,
I'm not throwing Bill Clark under the bus because I think Bill Clark's going to end up being a name guy, and he's going to be somebody that is going to, be very good for somebody at some point in time when they pull the trigger on him. But, I know they were talking to Kirby Smart, and they said they even mentioned Will Muschamp after he'd been at Auburn, and they just going after, just talking to everybody. And, to me, I thought it was silly to even mention Will Muschamp. But, Kirby Smart may have entertained because of where he's been, maybe going somewhere else and trying something different. I don't know. But you just started to get the feel that, frankly, nobody wanted to go down there.
It's something odd right now going on to LSU. It just doesn't it's a little hard to put your finger on it, I guess. They've got some good talent right now, but their quarterback situation is so up in the air, you don't really know what to make of it. Obviously Leonard Fournette is something you can build around. They've got great receivers. They're going to have a pretty decent defense, although their defense certainly was not great this year. But, we'll just have to see how these things work out. I'm not sure I thought John Chavis was going to be game busters at LSU either. So.
Let's go to the AO Tourism Hotline. David, you're on Sports Call.
Hi, good evening, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
What's up, David?
Just a couple things I wanted to touch on this evening and get y'all's thoughts on. First of all, I know you've been over the recruiting weekend quite a bit on the show. Just want to say I'm real excited about the potential that's there. It could be a knockout class or not so good, but we can always hope for the best. The Florida head coaching hire, McElwain, this has been about the quietest hire of any note that I've seen so far, and nobody seems to be talking about it, at least not in my viewing and listening universe. I haven't heard a whole lot of feedback on what people think he's going to do at Florida, and I'd just like to know what y'all think about that.
I think he'll do a good job at Florida. I think he's a very good offensive coordinator of offensive mind. I'm not sure to go out and get Jeff Collins from Mississippi State. I'm not sure that's a great idea. Mississippi State's defense has always been pretty good, but not great. But they'll be able to recruit there in Florida. There's obviously a ton of talent, but anytime you make a hire like this, to me, with a guy from a smaller school like that, it's always a risk because nobody can really predict because he doesn't have a big track record. He doesn't have there's not a big sample size to choose from, but just going by what he can do, Florida's problem the last several years has been offense. So you bring a guy in that's a proven offensive mind, I think he'll do a good job at Florida.
That's definitely been their issue. Last thing I wanted to say real quick, unfortunately a negative note, I saw on 24/7 Sports that the NCAA is considering restoring 111 wins to Penn State and Joe Paterno, and it's all part of, I guess, rebuilding his legacy and this, that, and the other. First of all, the fact that they let them off the hook for everything except the one thing that doesn't make a hill of beans to Penn State, which is $60 million, one of the richest universities in the country. Who cares? Allowing them to play in the bowl game and get TV revenue and bowl revenue and this, that, and the other. I mean, what have you got to do to get some, the serious punitive issues that stick, and restore the wins? I don't care. They should have shut their doors. I mean, it's disgusting to me. I think it's a travesty, and that just really put a black mark on the bowl season for me. But anyway, love the show, guys. Have a great night, and thanks a lot.
David, we appreciate your call, and we'd love to hear from you out there. You can call us or tweet us out there at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 334-887-3401. My take on Penn State, Andy, was I thought they didn't spend enough time, in depth on the ruling. I felt like, they knee-jerk reacted, and, the NCAA is notorious for being, slugs and slow as far as making decisions. Well, they acted real quick on this and pretty much hammered Penn State. Now, to me, then you come back and you start restoring all this and taking everything back, it makes you look like the toothless organization that you are. And the NCAA is that you make decisions, you make rash decisions, and then sometimes you go back and you take them back and you really don't have any merit or any reason why you do it, and you don't stick behind your decision. So I thought David was right. I mean, what went on up there was absolutely horrible. Not everybody obviously was aware of what was going on, but still there were a lot of powers that be that were, and they tried to cover it up. A part of me said, look, it's not the university's fault for what one guy was doing, what a few guys were doing. And your probation should be based on you gaining an unfair advantage over other programs in the country. I think that's what bases probation. Well, they almost gave them the death penalty for something that obviously didn't give you an advantage with anything other than, the only thing it did was hurt your image worse. So I just thought that the NCAA did a real poor job, knee-jerk reacting, making a quick decision, maybe a little bit too harsh on the beginning, not doing enough research, and then now coming back trying to just retract it all like it never happened.
Well, I think you got to be careful about putting a personification on Penn State, trying to make Penn State University a entity or a person. Because
that's my point.
Look, people have lost their jobs that were involved, or tangentially involved in that situation. The man that was the perpetrator is in prison. Joe Paterno is deceased. Penn State University, nobody there right now had anything to do with anything there.
Well, that happens a lot in probationary things. Though,
yeah, but this is criminal. This is not.
That's my point.
If it had anything to do with football, I would agree that maybe they should not restore all these things. But I was glad that they restored everything that they did to Penn State, because right now these people hadn't done anything that to warrant any kind of probation or any kind of lack of postseason play, because these kids, that was, my goodness.
Well, I
so
agree.
long ago.
Well, I agree with you. I think that's what I was trying to say too. Maybe didn't come across very clear that
I was just talking about David.
I know with NCAA comes in and rules and gives a harsh ruling down on something that was more of a criminal situation, or was a criminal situation, than a probationary thing that the NCAA issues out for gaining unfair, advantages over other programs. That's where you get probation from. Not, if anything, that killed their image. I mean, why in the world would you want to go to Penn State after hearing all that? So let's go back to the phone lines. Luke, you're on Sports Call.
Nothing like a little Penn State talk to get the Auburn airwaves cranked up.
There you go, man.
I'm going to say I totally disagree with that previous caller. Wow, I can't disagree anymore. I mean, I think Penn State, if anything, was hammered too severely, too quickly, too ignorantly. And the guys who were involved in this, and they're all despicable human beings. Nobody in their right mind would ever defend Jerry Sandusky in any way. Okay? He's a sick person. Sick. That's all you can say about it. Now, having said that, we are, a few years removed from all of this now. And NCAA, as you mentioned, is usually a plotting organization. And instead, they acted very, very quickly. They reacted to public pressure because the public was mad. And everybody was mad. And we should have been mad. But we wanted to blame somebody, wanted to punish somebody. So we punished Penn State and the university. And they've been without a bowl for 2 years. How many more years do they have to go without a bowl? He said he wanted to shut the doors. You want to shut the doors on a football program that not only would you deprive many students of the ability to go to college because of something they had absolutely nothing to do. You would put a lot of people out of work. I mean, not just a few, a lot of people. And that's the knee-jerk reaction that got the NCAA to do what they did in the first place, which was a bad move. It was a horrible move. And luckily, they are finally doing something right. I mean, the NCAA has done a lot of things wrong over the past few years. I think they're finally doing something right and trying to correct this fall. And again, this has nothing to do with anybody defending Gary Sandusky, and I don't care about the wins necessarily, even though I think it's stupid to take away a bunch of wins that really had nothing to do with any of this. I mean, that was just for show. That didn't help a thing. And we were all mad at Joe Paterno. But now he's been gone for quite some time. I think we can all say, okay, let's get this right. I don't want this to be something like baseball, where you have 10 years of complete ambiguity, because we know some folks were doing something wrong. And I'm not saying the two things are even comparable in terms of the egregiousness of what was wrong, but that we know a bunch of people were doing something wrong, and nobody knows how to count the stats from that black period of baseball. Nobody knows what to do with it. I mean, I think taking away, stripping wins and all that's kind of just for show, and it makes no sense. And I'm fine if they want to give them back to him or whatever. His legacy is forever tainted, no matter what happens, no matter what Penn State wants, no matter what anybody wants. Joe Paterno will always be associated with this thing. No matter what he actually did, people will always think he turned a blind eye to it. Penn State as a university will always have this attached to their name, no matter how much good they do, no matter how many national championships they win. Yeah. So I think that these kids have paid enough.
I agree with you, Luke. And, that's kind of what we were saying. We got to get to break. We appreciate your call, buddy, okay?
All right, guys.
Thanks so much, Andy.
Up against the break, but don't go anywhere. More Sports Call presented by Auburn Urgent Care right after this.
Since 1946, more couples have trusted Ware Jewelers for their engagement rings than any other store. Ware's has an unmatched reputation for quality and value, incredible jewelry from top designers, and the region's largest selection of GIA certified diamonds. No other store offers you more in service, quality, and value. For your engagement, let Ware Jewelers help you find the perfect ring with a buying experience you'll love. Auburn, Opelika, Montgomery, and Spanish Fort. Ware Jewelers, where East Alabama gets engaged.
Every day you wake up with a brand new to-do list. You make it to class with minutes to spare, always have your homework ready, and never take a day off. You keep studying even when you're tired, and somehow you find time for extracurricular activities. And oh yeah, friends, treat yourself to the best gourmet burger in Auburn at KJ's on South College. Try the Dixie Darlin', topped with homemade pimento cheese and a fried green tomato. Come on, you deserve it. Gourmet burgers, only $5. Weekdays from 11 to 4 at KJ's on South College.
Stop by your local TK's convenience store where Resource Natural Spring Water 700 milliliter bottles are buy one, get one free. Resource is a 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes for taste. It's good for you and mindful of the environment thanks to a bottle made with 50% recycled plastic. So visit your local TK's convenience store to refresh, revitalize, and replenish with a special buy one, get one free offer on Resource Spring Water. Excludes label and cap. Recycling facilities may not be available in your area.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Tax time is here, now's the time to buy. Stop at Gills Auto Sales, we can show you why. Gills low down payment gets you on your way. $2.99 down, get you riding today. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you gotta get to Gills. Selection and price, gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
TK's convenience stores are your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have but don't have time to waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope. At TK's, we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a six-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's convenience stores, now with 14 locations to better serve you, always there when you need us.
Auburn Links is your home for great golf. Just off exit 51, Auburn Links features a beautiful layout with Bermuda grass greens and rolling fairways, all right next to Parkinson's Mill Creek. For the last 20 years, Auburn Links has been providing Lee County with the best golfing experience around whatever your skill level may be. Looking for a fun family activity? Auburn Links has great group rates and membership specials for everyone, and their weekday rates now include Fridays. Be sure to follow Auburn Links on Facebook and Twitter for special deals and limited time offers. Auburn Links on Shell Tumor Parkway. Call 887-5151.
If you're planning on having a good time this winter, why don't you crack open a Bud Light Lime Cranberita? Because, my friends, the time has come to raise the roof and have some fun. Go crash the party. Throw away the work to be done. Play more, work less. Let the music play on. Everybody sing, everybody dance. The night is young. Lose yourself in wild romance. We're going to party, caramba, fiesta, forever. Party on with Bud Light Lime Cranberita. It's the great cranberry margarita taste with a refreshing twist of Bud Light Lime that's perfect for any party this winter. Just pop, pour, and party all night long. Try it now for a limited time. Bud Light Lime Cranberita. Fiesta forever.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Lime Cranberry flavored malt beverage. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wants us to give a rundown.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Here's to a one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is a proud sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Brett here with you for about 20 minutes or so more. Taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free, or locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Had a tweet wanting somebody to run down the recruiting. I'll let Brett take care of that.
Yeah, well, we've got a huge weekend coming in. I know a lot of you've been listening, and we've talked about this predominantly on this show today, and had Jason Caldwell on at 4:30. And just to kind of give everybody an update, Auburn's got 20 commitments. Look like they could sign as many as 28, probably going to be in somewhere around the 26, 27 mark. But Auburn, obviously, I would say the top five on their list of uncommitted targets right now would be, and maybe not in this order. And I tell you what, let's go to the phone lines, and we'll get this phone call, and we'll come back and run these down. And I'm going to try to pronounce this right according to what's come across my phone, and I hope I get your name right. Stoffridgen, you're on Sports Call.
Hey, bud.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. Good to talk to you.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, we went to school together.
Is this Chris?
Yeah, this is Chris.
Chris, good to hear from you, man. Been a long time.
Good to hear from you. Yeah, a long time. Hey, I want to ask, do we have an Ontario McCaleb? I thought maybe Stanton Pruitt would be that Ontario McCaleb. The guy, God bless the kid from Opelika, but what about the speed back that if I got hit the hole and goes, leaves the yard,
Yeah.
And nobody ever says anything to him until he's in the end zone.
Yeah, Ontario McCaleb was a special kind of guy, Chris, and he was able to, like you said, once he found the lane and got it turned north and south, usually hit pay dirt. But Andy, your thoughts on a guy Auburn's got right now that could possibly be the next? I've seen. Let me just tell you, Chris, I've watched Kerryon Johnson be a guy.
Oh yeah, the high school kid. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's a guy that can come in, and I think he's Reggie Bush kind of. Randy and I have called him in several games in high school, and he's got that kind of where you can line him up out in the slot and run him a receiver, and you can bring him in motion and be that speed sweep guy. He could possibly be the next possible type Ontario McCaleb. If anything, though, he's a little bit bigger than Ontario and a little bit stronger.
And also, though, you guys know he's visiting Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I don't.
Kind of gives me the shivers. It kind of gives me the shivers a little bit. We had Yeldon basically in our pocket, and you never know.
Well, you don't in recruiting, but I don't feel like Kerryon Johnson will end up flipping. I think he's pretty solid, and everybody I've talked to feels the same way. But like you said, you never know in the world of recruiting.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but we need that guy. God bless the kid from Opelika, but running to the sideline and doing a juke and getting tackled. That we need a guy, and that works with the Gus Malzahn offense. You got a speed guy that will run north and south. When he sees the hole, it really works out good for us from those speed sweeps. So anyway, I'm gonna hang up and listen to you guys talk.
Hey, Chris, appreciate your call, man. Good to hear from you.
And Ricardo Lewis kind of fell into that role later in the season and really played it well. He's got a lot of speed running, that jet sweep.
He's a big guy too to running, and not quite the breakaway speed of an Ontario McCaleb.
Who does?
Not many. They don't come around, but just special guys fit roles sometimes. And McCaleb did that for Auburn and was very successful while he was at Auburn. Being able to do that and return kicks as well. But going back to recruits on a tweet that I got and a couple of texts that I've gotten, not in this particular order, but I definitely think Byron Cowart, the defensive end from Sefton, Florida, may be the top prospect left out there for Auburn. They would love to have him fill that slot. And I want to say this before I move on to the other four guys, Andy. Everybody seems to think that it's going to be a showdown on signing day with Auburn and Florida. I know a lot of these guys, and I've heard, we had some calls Saturday that said they just feel like Florida going to have a clean sweep. And, I don't see where that's coming from. I mean, they've got a new coaching staff, and like a caller said a minute ago, I believe it was David, said, this has been a quiet hire. You ain't heard much out of McElwain. So I don't know why all of a sudden everybody just assumed, we've got Jim McElwain down here at Florida, Byron Cowart, and Martez Ivey, and everybody at Jeffrey Holland just going to automatically commit to Florida. So I'm not ready to say that, but I think Byron Cowart, it'll be between Auburn and Florida, maybe Florida State in the mix there. Martez Ivey between Auburn and Florida, and the key guy, he's a big offensive tackle, the number one tackle according to Scout, and 24/7, number 3 on the ESPN 300. But you look at Ivy, he had a tremendous Army All-American game. His teammate and best friend, Chandler Cox, already enrolled at Auburn as the fullback, so that could have some sway there. C.C. Jefferson from Glen St. Mary in Florida has decided he will be in town this weekend to join Byron Cowart and the rest of this crew. He's a 6'2", 275-pound defensive end target, and then Terry Beckner Jr., out there at defensive end as well. So those are 4 or 5. Some more to add in there would definitely be John Burke, the wide receiver on the offensive side of the ball. I know we got 7 or 8 guys left, Andy. I would think Auburn would concentrate mostly on defensive guys because we're very light in defensive recruits right now. An Arden Key guy that will be coming in on January the 30th, as you mentioned, from Lithonia, Georgia. Another big defensive end prospect, Jeffrey Holland from Florida. He is a big-time linebacker prospect that Auburn would really like to grab a hold of. So there's a few guys right there that we feel like are some of the top prospects left for Auburn to sign.
Yeah, there's one interesting guy over in Georgia that was reclassified today from the 2016 class to the 2015 class. He's like a 6'8", 240-pound defensive end from Nigeria. He's only 17 years old, but apparently he does have enough credits to graduate. So he's actually been reclassified. He's interested in Auburn. He has an offer from Auburn, so he is a 4-star recruit. Guy maybe that is an interesting guy to see. A guy that people have hardly any film on at all. Didn't play a down in football till he got to the United States. He's already automatically a 4-star recruit. You know that he has a tremendous upside. So I can't remember his name, but you would not miss it if you saw it. So
I'm not going
to try to pronounce it. So just another guy to keep an eye on. I think you're exactly right. Auburn is going to try to load up as best they can on the defensive side of the ball with the last. And you never know. Auburn's got 20 commitments right now. Again, Auburn did have a coaching change. And who knows? Auburn may have a couple of recruits drop out of this class. And that would open up 2 more spots. So you never know how these things go.
You don't. Some of these guys, I think most of the guys, I read something a little bit ago on the 20 that Auburn has and what their status is. Most are firm. A lot of these guys have been committed for a while. Very similar to Alabama. Alabama's had a ton of commitments for a long time. I know they picked up several here over the last couple of weeks, but a majority of these commitments have been locked in with Auburn for a while, and don't really expect a lot of flipping going on this year. There's always drama, and you don't really know. Like Chris said, you hope you don't lose a guy like Kerryon Johnson, but he's been real firm to Auburn the whole time, and really has been very vocal about trying to bring other guys into Auburn.
A big recruiter for
Auburn.
He's
a big recruiter for Auburn. He's talking to a lot of these guys. He'll be down there this weekend. So that one would shock me. I know I say I wouldn't be shocked with anything recruiting anymore. And the TJ Yeldon thing at the time kind of did shock me a little bit, but this one would tremendously shock me if he made a flip up to Alabama. But just so many big-time defensive end guys in on this visit, and then some coming in on the 30th. Andy, if you could get a Byron Coward, it may start a snowball effect for some of these other guys. But I think Jeffrey Holland and maybe on the offensive side, John Burt, and hopefully Martez Ivey at that offensive tackle position to come join Chandler Cox, who's already enrolled at Auburn. That would be huge 5-star guys. All those 5-star guys you're getting right here to close out your class.
Give us a call. Let us know what you think. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free locally at 334-887-3401. Up against a break here, but don't go anywhere. The final segment of the Tuesday Sports Call right after this.
Lee Marketing Group is proud to announce their recent alliance with Baker Street Advertising based in Opelika, Alabama. Now more than ever, it's important to develop a marketing plan that creates a compelling message, deploys that message, and analyzes metrics to optimize performance. LMG Baker strengthens our mission to help businesses market to their potential. Contact Randy Lee Jr. 256-750-5951 or visit our website, leemarketing.net.
Are you in need of a mortgage to purchase a new home or possibly refinance your existing home to save some money? Call Hometown Lenders of Auburn. We offer a wide selection of loan programs and services that we customize to your individual mortgage needs. At Hometown Lenders of Auburn, we get your loan done quickly, efficiently, without the hassles that you experience elsewhere. 334-521-8213, HTLontheplains.com. That's Hometown Lenders of Auburn, your hometown mortgage lender. NMLS 65084.
So, you're a business owner in need of durable, comfortable work uniforms and hats. Or maybe your high school won the section championship and you want to celebrate with custom t-shirts. Or perhaps you'd like matching tees and hats for your family reunion's barbecue. At Lee Apparel, we offer you a full-service production facility right here in Central Alabama. From design to printing, every aspect of your order is taken care of here with real people. Find out more at leeapparel.com or call us at 888-533-6758. 858.
CertaPro Painters of Auburn, Alabama, and Columbus, Georgia is locally owned and operated by Mike and Chris Dobbs. Whether it's interior or exterior, residential or commercial, CertaPro Painters delivers a professional painting experience to you. We give you a free detailed written estimate, free color consultation. We provide a 2-year warranty for your protection. We also offer an easy pay program. Call 334-651-0033 or 706-225-8070. CertaPro Painters. Experience the difference a pro can make.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
There's no doubt that high school and college athletics rule the state of Alabama. Increase exposure for your business by spending your advertising dollars on the best sports programming in Alabama with Sports Blitz, Sportscall, and the AHSAA radio network. In a sports-hungry state like Alabama, Sports Blitz, Sportscall, and the AHSAA radio network will offer your business the best return on investment. We have packages designed to fit any budget. Call today 256-794-8223.
Let me tell you about Satterfields. Check out the beautiful showroom at Satterfields on Highway 280 in Alexander City. They have a great selection of outdoor grilling lines for your entertainment needs. Name brands like Big Green Egg, Lynx, Blaze, and Sabre are just a few. Also, lawn equipment by Shindawa, Echo, and Husqvarna. Power tools by Makita, and a great line of Carhartt clothing. All of this in one location, Satterfields on Highway 280 in Alexander City. Stop by and visit them today. Satterfield.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your healthcare and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. And we're open 7 days a week to best serve you. Call us today at 334-821-3221. It's not about speed, it's about the quality of care. Auburn Urgent Care.
Sportscall on this Tuesday afternoon, the final segment of today's show. Andy and Brett here, taking you home to 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll free locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Still time to get that final phone call in.
Been some good calls in, and been some animated. Been an animated show. A lot of stuff going on. A lot we talked about here today. Obviously, Auburn fans really excited about this coming up weekend with all the recruits coming in and what they're going to be involved with. So Jason Caldwell was on at 4:30. Glad to have him part of the show, and we're excited about what we'll find out this weekend from a lot of those guys. I don't expect any commitments. These guys are going to be taking official visits. Like he said, we got 3 weekends until signing day coming up, and one of the things that Auburn's trying to do is close with a lot of these big defensive targets. And at the top of the list, number 1 is Byron Cowart. Andy, he's a game-changing type recruit for Auburn and program-changing kind of guy. I mean, just like Carl Lawson was, getting him back next year, this coming up year will be like gaining another 5-star recruit because we didn't get to see him at all this year. And he was really coming on toward the end of his freshman year. And we'll be glad to have a healthy Carl Lawson back and hopefully a couple more of these guys to join him next year.
Did you see Gus Malzahn on SportsCenter all day?
Did.
How do you think he did?
I thought Gus did a really good job. That's one thing about Coach Malzahn. Very presentable. He represents Auburn extremely well, and I think he'll be. I think he meant what he said. I think they fully anticipate if you're a good program or you've been competing, you want to be back at that level. I want to be on this sideline next year, and I think he means that. I know everybody says that, but I think he's sincere about it. They're trying to get some things created. One of the toughest things a head coach recognizing where you're deficient. And Gus Malzahn quickly recognized that they were deficient in defense. It most people could, most people could decide that Auburn was deficient defensively, but went out and he got a quick result. While he knew that there were other teams coming out going to be looking for defensive coordinators, we needed one bad. Will Muschamp, new regime change over on the defensive side of the football. Offense, get some players healthy, get some guys plugged in the right positions, get Kozan back, get hopefully Chandler Cox plugged in there, or somebody else at H-back. Get the offensive line another year under their belt. I think Auburn offensively will continue to score points, and Auburn should be back in the hunt. I saw on Las Vegas odds, there are 3 SEC teams in the top 10 odds to get into the national championship. I believe Alabama was 12 or 13 to 1. Auburn was 16 to 1. They were the 2 highest SEC teams, and they were in the top 4. So by indication, looking at this, you would expect Auburn and Alabama have a shot to be in the Final Four next year. And I think the schedule obviously shapes up better for Auburn this year than it did last year. So you got 2 SEC teams, and then also another one that was in the top 10 was LSU. So they expect the 3 Western Division teams over there to have some of the best odds to get the national championship game next year, Andy.
Yeah, Bovada has it at Ohio State 6-1, TCU 15-2, Alabama 10-1, Auburn 14-1.
There it was. I was off a little bit, but I was close. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly what I had seen on there, but you got that pulled up, and so that tells you. I mean, pretty decent odds there to make it to a national championship game in a situation where now 4 teams can get into the playoffs. So
USA Today has Auburn ranked number 2 in their preseason poll.
Really? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Auburn that high? They finished the AP 22, I believe, today. So
I think it's telling that they did not drop out of the top 25, losing to Wisconsin the way they did.
Maybe a lot of people felt like that the loss of that game was more of maybe Alabama last year in the Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma. Hey, we were so close to playing for another national championship. It got pulled away from us right at the end. Well, I mean, who cares? I mean, it's the Sugar Bowl, but we're not playing for anything but another trophy over here to stick in the trophy case. I know you don't need to approach things like that, but it's hard as a competitor when the prize has been pulled out from under you to really rejuvenate your batteries and get out there and say, hey, look, I got to go out here and win this game. Doesn't mean as much anymore. It's just the bottom line. You can say that's an excuse all you want to. The same with Auburn. Auburn's motto all year was 13 seconds better than last year, and then about 3 games from the end after the Texas A&M game, they realized they're not going anywhere. They're not going to the SEC championship game. They're sure not going to the national championship game. And they lost their mojo in the discussion.
Yeah, I love the offense coming back. I think Jeremy Johnson's going to be fabulous. I think, they'll plug. I think Javon Robinson is going to be good. So I think the pieces are in place offensively. Defensive scares me. Will Muschamp coming in, if they can improve at all, which I think, they're certainly capable of. If they have a great recruiting class, it gives them momentum. So, I think Auburn's got a great chance. And number 2, that seems to be that seems to be a little high, but Auburn's a top 15 team. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No, I'm frankly shocked Auburn getting that kind of, acknowledgement. And, to be preseason ranked number 2 going into next season, we'll see. I mean, we're still a little bit out from preseason rankings from next year, but if Auburn gets that number 2 preseason ranking, you obviously want to be ranked high going into the season. Gives you better opportunity to maneuver. But now you just got to be in the top 4. You don't have to be battling. And the good thing before we go off there, the good thing about the playoff is now the 4 seed, the inaugural year, wins the playoff. They wouldn't even have been in the national championship game, Andy. It would have been Florida State and Alabama. Neither one of them even made it.
Sports Call back on the air tomorrow from 4 to 6. For Brett Pritchard, I'm Andy Graham saying so long for now. We'll talk again soon. Thanks.
Hey, Andy, I'm going to go watch a little Minerals of basketball.
One thing, Randy, I know yeah. The turnovers and competition are sweet. Okay. Andy,